Hey guys, Ken here. Welcome back to the channel. Well, it's been an exciting week. I've got a lot going on. Uh, just wanted to give you guys a short update on everything. But I got my top rated seller status back. I had lost it for about a month. And when they reevaluated my store recently on the 20th, uh, some things changed and my metrics improved greatly because of those changes, and I was able to get my top rated seller status back, which I'm really happy about because I've worked really hard to try to maintain that. And what else is happening? Well, as you know, I gutted my store about 45 days ago, and I just now am finishing up, completing everything. And as you know, I've been selling off a lot of cards in lots. I actually had over 7,500 cards in my store originally. And what happened was I ended up with 2440. That's what I've got in my store now. So all those other cards have been divvied up into lots. And I had about 6 lots. I thought I had 5, but I actually had 6 lots available. 5 of them have already sold. Now, 4 of them, this is incredible, guys. You're not going to believe this. 4 of them sold to the same buyer. He bought all of them, over 4,000 cards. And he was a repeat buyer, repeat customer of mine out of Texas. And literally, guys, I am not kidding you. 5 minutes after I listed those 4 lots of 1,000 plus cards each on eBay, they sold. I mean, he must have been watching it or something, because 5 minutes. It was literally on eBay 5 minutes. And then there was this one gentleman who had inquired about it, and I was going to write him back to let him know, hey, the cards were live. And I didn't even get the chance to do that because at 5 minutes after they were listed, my phone started chinging off the wall. And I saw that the sales started coming in. And I ended up making almost close to $600 on all that. So that was a real blessing. I sold another lot of 800 cards. These were 4x6 Continentals. And I recently sold those for 125. So that's been processed and packaged and everything. And the only thing I have left right now as far as lots is a smaller lot of 325 cards. These are standard size cards. And I'm selling those for, I think, like 75 bucks. And I've already got a watcher on that. So I don't know, that may go today. But so it's been an exciting week. I'm going to get a great payout this week. My biggest payout ever. So that's happening. And, like I said, I've got the store pretty much doing what I wanted to do now. And I had mentioned in a previous video that I had a couple of small lots available that I still am going to be unboxing. These right here. These have been sitting around for so long because I've been, trying to rebuild the store. I've been focusing on that. And I forget what's in them. I was thinking about doing a unboxing video, but I kind of looked at other people that have done unboxing videos on YouTube, and there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of interest in that. People are yeah, those are nice cards, whatever. And I've looked at some of the other videos from some really top producers who sell postcards, and it's like they do an unboxing video and it's been around for 4 years or something, and they got like 123 views. There's just doesn't seem to be a big interest in that. So I'm not gonna. I don't think I'm gonna do an unboxing video. I would rather take something like these and just open them up and scan them and get them up on eBay and get them sold. Because that's basically what I'm in business to do. I mean, yes, I have this YouTube channel and it helps my eBay business. I'm not going to say that it doesn't, but my main focus is reselling. I focus, I'd say 95% of my time on reselling and selling quality postcards and, interacting with customers and things like that. In fact, I was just chatting with one of my customers who I just made a 2 postcard sale yesterday, and I shipped those out this morning. And he wrote back, and we were sharing a little bit about how he's been here to the Oregon coast and up the coast, and how much he loved it. And I was expressing to him how much I love it, and how we bought a house and everything. So we chatted a little bit there, but then I had to tell him, I love to stay in chat, but I got to get back to work, because that's what I do. I really believe in having great communication with your customer base, and it's just all part of the business. When you're when you're doing this full time, you've got to treat it like a real business. I'm retired. I am a retired professional photographer of 20 plus years. But I didn't think that I would ever retire from being a photographer. I guess I haven't officially retired. I mean, once you're a photographer, you're always a photographer. I don't spend a whole lot of time going out shooting and things like that because I'm trying to build this eBay business, and that's where my focus is. Oh, and I wanted to make mention too, my wife Kim also has got on the eBay bandwagon and is now selling old photos. I'm selling postcards, vintage postcards, and she's selling old vintage photographs, like of old cars and ships and Jeeps and things like that. And if you want to take a look at her store, it's called Bella Art Creatives. But yeah, it's a great little store, and she's doing fantastic with it. There seems to be quite a market for that. So if you'd like to take a look at her store, if you're in the market for old photographs, black and white photographs, then check out the link below, and it'll take you right to her store. And she's doing fantastic. I mean, she hasn't even had the store up, I don't think, a month, and she's already made a lot of sales. So there seems to be a viable market, with the old photos as well as with postcards, which is what I do. So yeah, things are going along great. We're coming into the summer months. Now I know everybody's worried about the summer slowdown, but guys, take that with a grain of salt. Take that with, this is something that happens every year, and I see it on YouTube every year. You get these YouTubers that get on there and just start whining and complaining about how bad sales are. And since the summer slowdown, and guys, it's just, to be honest with you, I've been in business a long time, and to be honest with you, it's just the ebb and flow of business. Now, granted, if you sell seasonal things, outside of postcards, then yeah, you're going to hit some peaks and valleys there because, trying to sell winter coats in July probably is not going to go very well for you, But if you're just selling, I encourage people to, you can either sell, you can be an all-around seller and just sell everything that you pick up at flea markets and thrift stores and, online or whatever. And you can be what they call an all-around seller, or you can be a niche market seller like me. I sell only postcards. That's it. A little while ago, I was selling photographs, but since Kim decided to sell photos, I don't want to compete with her. So I actually gave her all the photos I had, and I'm just strictly postcards. I stick to standard 3.5 by 5 standard postcards and 4 by 6 continentals. I stick to, I recently made a change to where I do not sell internationally anymore. I've decided, I had a long meeting with myself, and I said, self, well, I looked at how many sales I'd actually made selling internationally, and it wasn't very impressive. I just don't think there's a great market for postcards internationally. I could be wrong. It's just my opinion, but it just seems like, I think I sold internationally for about a year, and I think I made 3 sales, 3 or 4. And like 2 of them were a problem because one guy complained it was taking too long because I was using the eBay international shipping program. And what happens is the card has to go first to like Kentucky, which took about a week, and then they would ship it to wherever it had to go internationally. And it would just take like 5, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever. And I had one guy try to leave me negative feedback like it was my fault. And I'm like, I shipped that card either the same day or the next day, that I was able to get it out the door for them. And I communicate to my buyers. I always tell them, once it leaves my hands, it leaves my control. That now it's in the post office's hands. It's in their control. And he tried to leave me negative feedback. I never saw the feedback because eBay removed it. That was one of the reasons I used the international shipping program, because it gives you that protection against retaliatory feedback like that. And he tried to ruin my 100% positive feedback. And like I said, it might have shown up, but when I hovered over it, it just said buyer left negative feedback. But then I clicked on it and there was nothing there. So eBay obviously removed it. So that was good. That's why I used that program, and it was good. But like I said, I only made 3 or 4 sales, and it just wasn't worth my time anymore to advertise to sell internationally. So now I've just changed all my settings and gone back to lower 48 in the continental U.S. I don't ship to, and I don't, and nothing against these states, okay? But with my experience in dealing with these states, I've chosen not to even choose certain states within that are U.S. territories. Like I don't ship to Alaska, I don't ship to Hawaii, I don't ship to Puerto Rico, I don't ship to Guam, I don't ship to Canada. Sorry, it's just that. I mean, I just saw a thing on the news where it was on eBay. It was a notification on eBay that the Canadian Postal Service just went on strike again. I had a bad experience with that a long time ago when I used to sell photographic equipment. I sold this guy a lens, a short lens, and I shipped it out same day. And the day after I shipped it, guys, no joke, the day after I shipped it, the post office, the postal service for Canada went on strike, and it tied up his. It should have taken no more than 5 days. It tied up his item for like 5 weeks in customs until they got all that resolved. So that's why I've decided not to do business with those countries, because it just, to me, it just there's too much of a risk. There's enough people here in the U.S., in the continental U.S., lower 48 states, that I can sell to every day. There's millions of people that buy postcards on a regular basis from me. And I have more and more repeat buyers, and that's a great thing. When you start building your business, one of the things you want to strive for is great customer service, because what happens is you end up getting repeat buyers, and eBay will flag it. I think they go back 2 years, and they will flag it if it's a repeat buyer. It'll say repeat buyer. And those customers are golden, because those people have done business with you, they're happy with your service, and they come back to you rather than go somewhere else. I've had many people, like I've sold cards to people for $15, and after the sale, I look at how eBay shows you other sellers that are selling the same cards. Well, I've seen other sellers selling the same exact card, you know, for like, I don't know, $3 with free shipping. And I charge for shipping. And yet they come back to me. But I think it's because I provide outstanding customer service. And customer service is something that you really want to pay attention to if you're going to do any kind of a business, whether it's full-time, part-time, or whatever. Even if you do it as a hobby. If you're selling something on eBay, you have an obligation to your customer to make sure that you take care of their order, that you answer any questions quickly, that you handle any problems. If it's your fault, you own it and take responsibility for that. And I've done that ever since I've been on eBay, which is going on like 20 years now. Not selling postcards. I've only been selling postcards for about 4.5 years. But yeah, because of that, I have a number of repeat buyers that come back to me rather than going to somebody else, because they've never dealt with those folks. They might sell a cheaper card, but what good is that if you buy a card off somebody and they take like 2 weeks to ship it, and then they ship it the cheapest way, and it ends up going like media mail or something, which is the worst. I talked to somebody at the post office one time. They said that's the worst service that the post office provides, and yet I see people all the time sending stuff media mail. There's no reason for that, and it takes weeks for them to get their card or whatever, and they just it's a bad experience for them, and that's not what you want. When you're in business, your customer base is your lifeblood. Without your customers, you don't have a business. You have a hobby. And there's nothing wrong with having a hobby. It's just that, if you're trying to build a serious business to where you can go full time someday and maybe replace your 9 to 5, then you've got to build that customer base. You've got to communicate with your customers and communicate with them as quickly as possible. So just passing on those tips. I hope that helps. But anyway, I got to get back to work. I'm going to have to open these and scan them and get them started, and so I can get them up on eBay and get them listed. Anyway, I'm going to go. But as always, if you got anything out of this video, and I hope you did, you know what to do. Smash that like button. It helps the channel. I appreciate it. I'm going to go. You guys have a great day. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. And we'll see you on the next video. Take care and bye for now.